I changed iPads. Welcome to the Psychic News Network. I'm Annette Dion. I'm the host and founder of the Psychic News Network. And I'm glad that you're here. And I'm glad that you came back. Let me plug in my iPad. I could not figure out why the chat wasn't working. But it's back. It seems to be back. Phew! Let me just tell you something. When you do psychic work and you're doing a YouTube thing, there's a certain, I don't realize it until I think about it. There's a certain vibe, there's a certain, energetic, mental state to get your brain in to do this. And when the technology screws up, it's like, what? Totally busts the vibe. It's really amazing. So, welcome. So I'm using a different iPad and that seems to be working better. And if you chat a lot, it's going to help me to see that it's working. So, yay, we can chat. Phew. I didn't like sitting here talking to myself. I do enough of that. Today is the 26th. The moon is going into Virgo tonight at 11:05 Eastern time. So, the moon is void of course. When the moon is void of course, to me it feels a little bit like a Mercury retrograde. When the moon is void of course, it's kind of hard to get anything done. You might get to the end of the day. If there's a long void of course, which is pretty long today, several hours. By the end of the day, when the moon is void of course, if it was for a long stretch of time, you might get to the end of the day and go, I feel like I got nothing done. So if you feel like that, it's okay because it's a holiday weekend. The house wreckers, we'll call them the house wreckers. The house wreckers are attempting to make a mess out of the United States of America. I mean, they're still at it. This is a kind of an insurrection. This is a version of an insurrection. This is the House Republicans, which, as you know, if you're with me normally, I think most of you are usually here. If you're with me normally, what you know is that I call them the party of fascists. What they are doing is cruel. What they are doing is they're stealing. What they're doing is they're creating lots of hardship for people. They're doing complete derelictions of duty. They're not doing their jobs. It's quite the opposite. I'm really surprised that the American people are putting up with this crap, honestly. I am shocked and stunned. But you might remember that on Wednesday, I was talking about Texas on Wednesday, and I was kind of surprised to feel this. I was getting a sense that there was a lot of legal things happening in Texas where people were coming together, but I mean like high-powered lawyers and such. And we were talking about Abbott, who I think that Paxton and Abbott are buddies. Buddies. And so lo and behold, Ken Paxton I don't know if they voted, they were supposed to vote today whether to oust him. So I don't know, does anyone have the news on that? Because I didn't get a follow-up story as to whether the AG, Ken Paxton, who is a misogynist, horrible person. I mean, I'm telling you, they picked the buttes. I think that he may have been ousted from the Tennessee, his position as the AG of not Tennessee, Texas. So even though I get frustrated, you get frustrated. Oh, the vote's Saturday. Yeah, I read that it was Friday. So, okay, good to know. On a holiday weekend, isn't that interesting? And it's Republicans in the government in Texas that are ousting Ken Paxton. So let's look and see. And Kathy Beale sent me a message about Paxton, and it looks really bad for him. And also, I want to shout out to Autumn at Black and Orange, speaking of astrology, because it's bad for Ken Paxton, and whom else it's bad for. And I'm saying shout out to Autumn at Black and Orange, because she did Ron DeSantis's chart. And I was so happy to see in Ron DeSantis's chart, even though Kathy had mentioned this before too, but I happened to catch that the night that, on Autumn's channel, the night that Ron DeFascist, was that Wednesday? Yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah, that's right, because we were on, and some people were like, Twitter's crashing. And I actually heard, I think it was Ben Maisala's, no, it was David Pakman. I actually heard David Pakman say something that we had said at our Grassroots of Democracy meeting, which was, we psyched out the white light so much that we crashed Twitter. Now David didn't say it that way. They're not all into this stuff, like, or maybe they are and they don't admit it. But it was interesting. And when I read on Ron DeSantis and Elon and what was going on there, energetic, I do think our energy's messed with it. I think that Ron DeFascist has so many haters that energy, gets to them. It looks like, as far as Ron DeFascist goes, there's like a grand cross, and I don't want to get too much into astrology because I'm not an astrologer and I'll screw it up. But it was the worst possible time for him to announce that he was going to run for president. We'll get to Paxton in a sec. I'm also, and you are too, and that's why we get together when we have these Friday night parties. I'm really, let's not get used to this. I'm really, really upset and aggravated by that we're living in the United States of America, and we need good presidents in the United States of America. We need to, elect our good presidents and get them in there to do a good job. And the way that we are supposed to sort of gauge if they'll be the person for the job is that person who's running for president of the United States is supposed to be doing it for the love of country and for the love of serving the people. And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard anything like about that since, I don't know, maybe Obama. It's been a long time. I'm not counting Joe Biden when I'm saying this. I'm just looking at the Republicans and how they're not interested in serving the people. It's like a freaking reality show. I need a tropical vacation. Not really. I'm right by the ocean. I don't need a tropical vacation. Do you need a tropical vacation? What we need is we need people running for president in 2024 that are doing it because they're public servants. Is it just me? Yeah, thanks for coming back, by the way. I couldn't find the chat wasn't working. I actually switched iPads, so I'm on a smaller one now. I don't know. Things are glitchy. So let's take a look. We're going to ask about Ken Paxton. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? It's like the worst reality show ever, and it's like, let's not lose sight of the fact that they're supposed to be running because not because they're greedy and they want to take everything that's good for the people away from us, not because it has to be all about them. Come on. Yeah, where I live is gorgeous. That's true. Someone's saying I need a tropical vacation. If I go on a tropical vacation, the only thing different really is the palm trees and it's hotter. Other than that, it's pretty. You hear the seagulls, but they're very quiet tonight for some reason. So let's remind one another that the person that has the privilege of being the United States of America's president is supposed to have that privilege because they're taking an oath to serve and to protect, right? And let us write to all the good Democrats who are doing the good work of calling them out. I think they're kind of on a roll. I think they got some momentum going. The Democrats got some momentum going. They're lining up. It's like they're rapping. It's like they're getting into the rhythm, and they're calling out the Republicans that are really fascist, and they're telling everyone what those fascists are doing. You know what I mean? What about the what? The Seaweed Mountains? We don't have them here. I know there was a big... that kind of came out of left field. What Seaweed Mountains? I know there was a big red blob of seaweed that was heading for Florida and Texas, but we haven't heard much about that, have we? Paxton. Hang on. I'm so glad that it worked this time. I'm just glad to be here. I love hanging out with my virtual friends at the virtual psychic party. Will Ken Paxton be voted out in Texas? Will he be voted out? Yes. Yes! The seaweed showed up in July. Oh, it'll be back. It'll be back. Glenn! I thought you couldn't get into the chat. That had nothing to do with me. I don't know. I try my best not to take technology personally, but when my technology doesn't work, I get embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed. If you don't see me coming back, that's kind of why. But it's not personal, and I have to remember that. It looks like Ken Paxton's he's out of there. He's out. He tried to slide into home base, but he's out. Yippee! Yippee! I'm going to read more about that. I'm going to read more about what's going on with that. He's a criminal. Paxton is a criminal. Criminal. Might want to whoop up on his cheating stuff. I can't tell you how many times I've done readings, about what's going on in the United States, and it's like the guides are saying, you guys, they're robbing you blind. The fascists are robbing us blind. I know, I shouldn't get embarrassed when my technology doesn't work, but see, I'm saying my technology, like, it's not personal. It's like having a party and you invite people and then you leave. Okay, Paxton. Okay, so here's what I'm getting for him first off. This is like lots of bad stuff, bad things that have happened that are in the past that he's mourning. I need ice. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so, Paxton, what is this? Oh, so I was just talking about this card. This one and the Seven of Swords. This is the Five of Swords. This is the card of stealing. Milwaukee, DeSantis versus crooked Trump primary get ugly. I don't see either of them sticking around long. You know what I mean? The Queen of Cups. Okay, so Paxton's wife is a senator. Wow, this is interesting. What's her name? Can you put up Paxton's wife's name? She's a senator. Can you put up, hi Cheryl, hey Maureen. Oh, okay, Maureen, thank you. Sometimes it's just the aliens messing with the technology. That's all. A MAGA thief, imagine that. Yeah, if somebody can put up, because I'm seeing that his wife is this is Paxton. He's walking away from his bad deeds. They're done. He can't undo them. Right? You forgot about the live. You're cooking supper. Well, first things first, we gotta eat. Her name is Angela. Well, what's her last name? The unholy. Let's hope the unholy trinity is on its way out. You think there's only 3 that are unholy? It's a lot more than that. Anyway, I feel the senator's Angela Paxton. Oh, she goes by her married name. Okay. I see problems in the Paxton's marriage. I don't think that their marriage is going so well. I don't know if they'll divorce. I don't see her really coming to his defense. They're probably. Let me ask this: Are Ken? Is it like a Ginny and Clarence situation? The Mr. and Mrs. Paxton is. Oh wow! I get the. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I did hear that he had an affair with another woman. Yeah, actually, now that you mention it, I'd forgotten that. So maybe I am seeing divorce. But here's the complication. Mr. and Mrs. Paxton feels like they were in on it together. Are they currently considering divorce? Oh yeah, I'm getting a yes on that. Love my crystal? Which one? This is Tiger Eye. And this is my crystal ball. You know, when they say on the news, well, we need to read the crystal ball, like as if they could. Well, we need to read the tea leaves. I do. I have my tea ready, too. So many divorces. I know. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah. It looks like they're heading for a divorce. It's complicated because the Paxton family, Mr. and Mrs. Paxton, I'm not sure if they have any kids. They probably do. She was in on it. The crystal ball amplifies what I'm picking up. I have scribed. Yes, I definitely have scribed. I don't know, I might reactivate that in what I do too, since I'm adding the tea leaves, and I've had a lot of fun with the tea leaves, so I think I'm going to keep doing the tea leaf readings. Why not? Keep it interesting, as if it's not interesting enough. All right, I have my little Taurus bull here. Oh, thank you for the donation. I have my Taurus bull here. If you're feeling stubborn or bullish, that would be Taurus. We certainly are seeing that in the house, but it's beyond stubborn. It's just evil. Let's read on Ron DeFascist, just because we were talking about him. Oh, and just so you know, I've monetized my channel. If you don't have ad-free YouTube, you could add it. I have ad-free YouTube. It would drive me crazy if I had to watch commercials. I hate commercials. So I apologize that you'll have to have an ad pop up if you watch this later, and you can skip the ad. You should be able to skip the ad. And thank you for your donations. Much appreciated. If I don't say thank you as you give me the donation, don't take it personally. It's just because I'm focused on the task at hand. So we're going to read about Ron DeFascist, 14th Amendment. Yeah. The 14th Amendment is probably going to kind of save us. Let me just take a peek at that. Is the 14th Amendment going to save us from the fascists trying to destroy our world economy? Oh yeah, that's a strong yes. The 14th Amendment, it looks like, yeah, they run 5 seconds of the ad before you can skip, very little time. Thank you. If you see any ads on my videos that are for prescription drugs, alert me to that, because I'm way against that. Oh, you can put ad block on your laptop for free. That's good to know. And for me, I think it's just a few extra dollars a month to have YouTube without ads. Cheryl saying sending Celine lots of light. I don't know. I mean, we can read on Celine Dion. I don't feel like the last picture that was published of her, she looked emaciated. It was really not good. House Dems shamed the fascists. Yeah, well, yeah, and I think that the Democrats are hanging around town, and all the fascists left town. Somebody's commenting on my pendulum. This is from a company called Project Yourself, and it's Tiger Eye. Tiger Eye is really good for tapping into your guides. You can always tap into your guides, but if you want a little more, vibe. Yeah, so I'll tell you one thing. This is making them look bad. I mean beyond bad. This is making them look criminal. It truly is. Thank you. Yes, the internet's up and running. It wasn't the internet. It was that I couldn't get the chat to work. So I switched iPads. Rhonda, fascist. I'll tell you what's going to happen with Ron DeFascist. He's going to align more and more with Elon. Don't be distracted by the naked people, because it's just making a point. They're in bed together. This is Ron and Elon. It's like a little song. Ron and Elon. Ron and Elon sit in a tree. I'm sorry. The Knight of Pentacles. This is the DOJ. Coming. Thank you, Glenn. This is a DOJ coming for. I just see Ron DeFascist being handed papers by the DOJ. So there's something going on with that. That's probably about the asylum seekers. Is it about the asylum seekers? Yes. I see paperwork, documents going to Ron DeFascist about the kidnapping the asylum seekers and stealing money from the state of Florida. Yes, he has, and yes, he probably still is. Ron DeFascist has a big funder. I do believe that that's Elon Musk, but I see other connections too. Remember when he went on his European tour, during which he made a total fool of himself. Yeah. DeFascist has broken many laws. So maybe it doesn't take a psychic to tell you. I do see papers. I see him being served. Ron DeFascist. The Hierophant is indicative of the law, the actual legal system. All the laws he's broken are going to catch up with him. Elon is in. It did not go the way he wanted. I know, and if you just jumped on, I was mentioning earlier that I heard David Pakman. You probably know his YouTube channel. He's got tons of subscribers. He's from this area. David Pakman was saying that he. This is what he said. He said, "I thought maybe it was me because I was praying that Ron DeSantis's, Twitter thing would not go well." And lo and behold, so I think we're doing it. I really do. Doctors depart hospital after Texas AG investigates gender affirming care. These fascists are the cruelty is the point. Thank you guys for thanking the contributors, the donators. It helps me to be more focused. I love you, and I'm so appreciative of all the help that you give me. Okay, so, and this is Ron DeFascist having found out that they've tracked the money. They've traced the money. They've tracked the money. They've traced the money. And he's in big trouble. And what I see him doing is trying to kind of slink away. He's not as brazen in the sense of, maybe that's the wrong word. Ron DeFascist is not as covert. I don't know what the word is. He's not as out there as Trump. He's not as out as a criminal. Like Trump has no shame, and it's not that Ron has any shame. But Ron tends to put more effort into hiding things. I guess it doesn't take much to be a sneakier criminal. Because Donald Trump just is like, remove those boxes. Oh, there's a surveillance camera. It's all right. Just move the boxes. Hide the boxes. Honestly. Trump. Look, I'm criming. That's what Trump does. And Ron does too, but Ron's hidden a lot. Well, will he be behind bars? It will take a long time for Ron DeSantis to be behind bars, but will he serve prison time? Oh, I'm getting a yes on that. I'm getting a yes that he'll serve prison time. And for some reason, I want to read on Jim Jordan next, so we'll just go with that. Jim Jordan. I mean, the good thing, there are many good things about getting together, and one of the good things about us getting together is that I get so mad. I was so mad on Wednesday. I mean, I guess it's what you call righteous anger, and we all are. On Wednesday, when I became aware that these sham hearings were on gas stoves. I even wrote my little, letter to the Grassroots of Democracy group, my little newsletter that goes with the Zoom invites. I even wrote it there. I just could not believe that they had a hearing on gas stoves on the anniversary of the Uvalde shootings. Could not believe it. So, I do see, DeSantis, but I feel like it's going to take some time, like a few years before he's behind bars. Let's ask this. Will Ron DeSantis finish out his term as governor of Florida? Will he finish out his... whoa! The question at hand is, will Ron DeSantis finish out his term as governor? To which I got a no. Anybody out there also using a pendulum or kind of following along? Happy Friday! If they wanted to make themselves look better, these Republicans, rather than running away on Memorial Day weekend to go spend all their, for their lavish lifestyle that they have on our dime, rather than, we have to fly out of town and leave the American people in the lurch, worried about the U.S. economy and the world economy crashing. Yeah, we're just going to go away. You Democrats can stay behind and be public servants. If they're really Republicans that care about this country, on Memorial Day, wouldn't you think that they would do something to commemorate those who have fought and sacrificed it all, life and limb, for democracy? No, nothing. I mean, let's remember when Donald Trump called the military losers. Losers. Let's not forget when Donald Trump said about John McCain, the hero, the war hero, I like people that weren't captured. Well, you know what about Donald Trump? How about this one? We like presidents that weren't criming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lewis and Clark. Glenn Bird is talking about, I know they banned Lewis and Clark. Jim Jordan. Anyway, I got on that little tangent about the hearings about the gas stoves, and they're banning books, they're banning they're banning gay people, they're banning this, they're banning that, and they're not doing anything about guns, but pushing people to get more guns. I got that he's not going to finish out his term, Ron DeSantis. Jim Jordan. I don't know why I'm reading on Jim Jordan. I guess there's something to read. Since I was so late, I finished my tea a long time ago, so I might put that little segment of the live stream tonight in earlier, as I'm sort of reflecting on what I'm seeing here in the cup. Lots of energy around communication and media and news, of course. Jim Jordan. Tower card for Jim Jordan. Justice card for Jim Jordan. And right now he's sitting pretty, but I keep getting the same thing about him. In the sense, not that he's not stressed, but Jim Jordan is thinking Jim Jordan is thinking that he's, maybe, did he get a pardon? He's thinking he's in the clear. But he's not. I have the Tower and Justice card, but maybe he's, I guess when people get really super, super stressed, sometimes they just go into denial mode. And I feel like, this is Jim Jordan. Doesn't look good. Looks like he's got some bad days ahead of him. Justice in the Tower, and he's over here pretending that all is well. And I got that the other night too. He's pretending that all is well. But let's ask this. Is he in so much denial that he's delusional? Or is it, no, it's not that. Is it that he's kind of putting on like he's just king of the hill? Is that what's going on? No. So what I'm asking is, I have the Nine of Cups. The Tower, Justice, and the Nine of Cups are what came up for Jim Jordan. So this is definitely, he's in big ass trouble, Jim Jordan, right? With the justice system. And this feels like he thinks he can get away with it. Oh, he paid for his pardon? Well, thank you for clearing this up for me. Well, that's kind of a funny question. Does he know he's in trouble? He totally knows he's a criminal. He totally knows he's committed many crimes against the United States. He totally knows. But this is looking like he totally knows. He thinks he has an out. That's what I'm seeing. He thinks he has an out. Is there a pocket pardon? I'm not saying that he does. I'm just saying he thinks he does. They all believe they're special. Yeah, well, that's, that explains it somewhat. Because narcissists never, ever, ever think of themselves. They're never thinking that they'll get caught or that anything will happen to them. So, is there a pocket pardon? There is not a pocket pardon. I don't know. Jim Jordan thinks he can get away with this. Is he just delusional? He's just delusional. That's funny. I have a question because I'm looking at my screen. Can you guys see a money amount on the screen? $2 million pardon. I'm just wondering if you can see a money amount on the screen. Or if that's just me. I'm new to this monetization thing. You can see that? That's kind of like, I'd like to hide that. It's distracting. I'll figure it out. I will. I swear. Jim Jordan. Let's read more about that. In the sense of Jim Jordan and being the, I don't know, what do they call him? The chairman of the judiciary? It's a big fat joke. Oh, you just see a dollar sign? Okay, thank you for clearing that up for me. Because from my end, I see the amount. And it's like, I don't want that to show. It's very distracting. He's had too many bangs on his head from his wrestling mat? Let's ask. Because Jim Jordan simply had too many concussions from it. Actually, he does have brain damage. What? DeSantis is banning male nursing? Are you serious? That can't be real. That can't be real. Yeah, what I was asking about my screen here, and thanks for helping me, is whether you can see like the amount and amount. Moving on. Long-term steroid damage. It looks like he has something wrong with his brain. It totally does. It really does. Oh, okay, thank you for letting me know. Now I know. You don't have to answer the question anymore about whether you can see the money amount. Just when somebody... Okay. That makes sense. I'm going to read on the Democrats. I'm going to read on these Democrats. And, I feel like the Democrats are feeling hopeful and optimistic. Yeah. I'm probably going to read a little bit more into fascist also. How are the Democrats? I feel like they're optimistic. I kind of see the Democrats sitting with Joe Biden and all together, I don't know, maybe they're doing positive visualization too. They're pointing to a blessing. I really feel like they're pointing out that there's a blessing in disguise happening. And I do think that that's kind of true because, you know, the Maya Angelou quote, when people show you who they are, believe them. And what they've shown, what the formerly known as Republican Party has shown, is they've shown how heinously cruel they are. I know, DeSantis is delusional, just like Jim Jordan is delusional. The fascists signed a new bill into law Wednesday banning men from becoming nurses. We'll go back and read on him in a sec. Let me just read on the Democrats right now, because I do get they're feeling hopeful. They're, and I feel like Joe Biden is, it's kind of like a pep rally. Oh, are you saying that story about the fascists is not real? Jordan might have a heart attack? Let's see. Well, if it was in the Onion that Ron DeFascist is banning male nurses, you know, that just, isn't that the best indicator of how bizarre it's gotten? Okay. But that we would actually go, oh yeah, yeah, that sounds right. It's pretty pathetic. It's kind of like the movie Idiocracy, right? Okay. All right, we'll have to look into that. Now you got me all distracted. Hang on. Are the Democrats and Joe Biden having pep rallies? Are they doing that? Yeah, they're all hanging around. Okay, let's see. There'll be an end to this debacle. This is about the Democrats. There'll be an end to this debacle. Now, Janice Yellen today moved up the date to I think it might be the 5th. Let me check my calendar. The 5th, which is a Monday. Okay. The death card is an end to this craziness. I actually feel like Nancy Pelosi is helping the Democrats, kind of coaching them, kind of giving them some tips. And the Democrats are going to be standing on top of the world. Yeah, all they need is 5 or 6 Republicans for that petition. Discharge. I probably am not saying that right. Is it the Democrats that are going to end up? Yeah, actually, I'm telling you what, this is like the law of contrast. The law of contrast says when you have something that's really terrible, it kind of highlights what the opposite is. Yeah, it's really, yeah. I actually think the Democrats are looking at, they could turn this into a positive. They'll pass it on the full moon. That would make sense. It's the full moon in my sign in Sagittarius coming up, which is about truth. It's about truth seeking. It's about the truth and nothing but the truth. The fascists can't handle the truth, and the truth is that people love each other and they want to care for one another. I mean, you know, no manner of speaking. You know what I mean. All right. I'm going to read on Kevin McCarthy. Remember, I've been predicting, and others have been predicting, that June is the month, and it checks out astrologically too, that Kevin McCarthy loses his seat. Sandra says 8 will sign. Nobody had time to go to the mattresses. I think they need 5. I think they need 5, not 8. So 8 would be good. Okay. Next, fascists will ban women from working. Yeah. It's kind of a blessing in disguise that, I mean, it's one way to look at it. Because you can't believe that they're holding us hostage and saying, unless you take money away from veterans who need health care, we're not going to raise the debt ceiling. Unless you take food away from the hungry, we're not going to pass the debt ceiling. I mean, unless you don't allow, you know, global climate change measures to be taken, we're going to, if you don't help the American people at all, we'll say yes to raising the debt ceiling. It's unbelievable. Kevin McCarthy. Let's ask, will Kevin McCarthy lose his seat? Will Kevin McCarthy lose his seat over this? Over this? Yep, it's only one of the fascists gets mad. So this points to a few things. We feel Kevin getting ousted. We know that would mean 99.9% likelihood that he loses his seat because he went ahead and said, yes, raise the debt ceiling without meeting those cruel, cruel, cruel conditions. And let me remind everybody, or maybe you didn't know this, there's never been this before in American history. There's never been never. They just raised it. They raised it 3 times under Trump. Trump incurred 25% of the debt. In the timeline of American history, Trump racked up the most debt, and the audacity of, there's not even any word, of Trump to say, don't raise it. They're being held hostage by Trump. Hi, Toledo, Ohio. How are things in Toledo? It just made me think of a John Denver song. John Denver put Toledo, Ohio in a song. So if you're in Toledo, tell me what the song was. Why is Kevin hiding? What, did he run away too? Alright, try to follow the thread. It goes like this. I see Kevin McCarthy losing his seat. We know that it takes one Republican, and I always call them fascists, to say, we want him ousted. I see him getting ousted, right? I see him losing his seat. So it stands to reason, through the process of deduction, it stands to reason that means he'll have to cave and say, let's raise the debt ceiling without all these cruel conditions, right? Meadows is hiding. We'll get to that. There was no Republican on the floor today. They went home to luxuriate on Memorial Day weekend. I'm sure none of those Republicans, I'll call them Republicans every once in a while, I'm sure none of them are planning to do anything to commemorate the veterans and the soldiers. I see the debt ceiling being raised, and I see Joe Biden giving a couple of little concessions just because. And I see the MAGA Republicans, the ultra MAGAs. We'll talk about Boebert in a little while too. The ultra MAGAs will be mad because they put under their conditions for like getting him his seat. That if they got mad, they could just get rid of him, and with one person. These people are crazy. They're nuts. They're bona fide crazy. 3 sheets to the wind. I think Meadows flipped too. Okay. I meant to pull cards. Hang on. This is Kevin McCarthy. This is Kevin McCarthy. This is the United States Constitution. This is the burden. He cannot handle the job. Put out some cheese, Meadows will show up. This is Kevin McCarthy. This is the sleepless nights. Marshmallow McCarthy cannot handle the pressure. He'll just squish. He can't handle the job. He's lying awake at night. He cannot handle the job. You can't be all things to all people. That's asking for trouble. Totally in over his head. The law steps in. Our United States Constitution steps in. And that is, I can't remember if I already read on this. Yeah, I did. And it said, it's the 14th Amendment. Keep it positive, everybody. I do have to speak to this. Okay, this is what I want to tell you, Julie. To get some perspective, we cannot tolerate the slowness of the DOJ. This is what I want to speak to that. January 6th could have been it. It could have been over. If a couple of things had gone their way, the MAGA's way, our democracy would be over. So we really don't have any business complaining about the slowness of the justice system, because justice does happen slowly. I understand the frustration. I really do. But if it helps, get down on your knees and pray prayers of gratitude or whatever it is that you're into in terms of showing thanks. That at least this is where we are. Stuart Rhodes, 18 years for seditious conspiracy. 1,000 insurrectionists are, I think they've been charged. A lot of them are in prison. So I just want everyone to understand, and I have to do this with myself too. We are so lucky that rather than us being in fascism, full-blown fascism, with Donald Trump as a dictator, these people are under investigation. These people are under investigation. So I mean, do you know where I'm coming from? We should be thanking our lucky stars that we're not under a dictatorship right now, because it came very close, and there would be no law. Think Kim Jong-un. Anyway, meanwhile, back in Kevin McCarthy land. Yes, I mean, we have to be grateful that we have a justice system. Marshmallow Man just got a new Botox injection. Can you see that? You know that Putin, whoever poses as Putin, they have massive amounts of Botox. Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't look good for Kevin. Our buddy Kevin is not going to have a good weekend. No, he's not. And it does look like they're going to, we got to use our Constitution, you know what I mean? So that's what it's there for. It's getting a little rusty. That's why it's not really working that well right now. When things get rusty and you don't oil them, they don't work too well. Our Constitution is kind of rusty. So let's oil, let's get the squeak out of that 14th Amendment that also speaks to anyone who's participated in an insurrection, crimes against the United States. They're not qualified to run for office. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. They don't read it. Do you think Marjorie Taylor Greene has ever read the United States Constitution? Do you think Lauren Boebert has ever read and understood? Probably didn't even bother reading it. They don't read. Trump didn't read either. He had a copy of Mein Kampf on the nightstand. Trump, Mein Kampf. They're into Nazism. And he maybe through osmosis, Trump absorbed Hitler's book. All right, so everyone promised me that you'll go to gratitude that right after January 6, 2021, if we had known right after that these people would get in trouble, we would have been at least a little happier, or hopeful. Donald J. Trump, shall we go there? Let's make America Florida. Yeah, take away all your rights. We were going to read more on DeSantis, and I'm going to do that now. I'm going to read on, okay, so I got that he's in bed with Elon, that the crimes that Ron DeSantis has committed are going to catch up with him, and we're going to just read on how this, how the beginning of his presidential campaign will go. Well, the United States is going to be like, this is going to highlight, Ron DeSantis, it's going to highlight what the United States is really about, because he's not about it. He's not about it. And this is, yeah, Ron, I kind of feel like Ron has already blown it, and where he blew it was overseas. That's where it all came crashing down. I don't know if it was just his weird behavior. I think a lot of people saw how weirdly he was behaving when he went on his European tour for we don't know why. But the United States is going to shine, and we will. And Ron DeSantis he's going to be out there running for president, standing for everything that American democracy doesn't stand for. What a weirdo, honestly. Thank you guys for donating. I want to just let you know what I'm up to. I'm going to go ahead and do my little commercial. You don't have to step into crazy to know it. Yeah, you can feel it. If you'd like to book a reading, it's psychicannetteDion.com. This is just my halfway point commercial. psychicannetteDion.com. I'm also a spiritual life coach. That's on my website too. And tomorrow I have a class on how to get smarter, how to be smarter, how to get like more smarter as you age, not less. That's called It's All in Your Mind, and there's room for you if you want to take that class tomorrow. Just click on classes on my website. It's called It's All in Your Mind, and I'm going to be teaching people about how to keep your brain healthy. It's really worth it. Really worth it to get involved in this class tomorrow. New pendulum class coming up on June 10th. All the classes are held on Zoom. You get a Zoom invite that morning. So just go to my website and reserve your space. And a class on radically forgiving on June 17th. And there's always more coming. Stay tuned for my tarot class to be available online. Grassroots of Democracy meets on Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we do a guided meditation. Grassroots of Democracy discussion meetings is Thursday, and we meet on Saturdays too, 3 times a week. 20 on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays, we meditate together. We do guided meditation for a healed America. So it's really, really good. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. What are you laughing about? I feel like I'm missing, the party. And churchofspirituality.online, I did post that I was going to, for those of you, I think a lot of you are here that read my community posts, I was going to read Amanda Gorman's poem that was semi-banned from the classroom in Florida. Talk about a slap in the face. Fascism slaps you in the face if you're too beautiful and you're too intelligent. Anyone who's too intelligent and wonderful, beautiful, handsome, especially somebody who's gifted, fascism hates that. So I was going to read Amanda Gorman's poem. What was it called? The Hill We Climb. I was going to read that before Church of Spirituality this coming Sunday. We always meet at 1. I was going to read that prior to it. And then I got thinking, there's copyright. It's copyrighted. So if you're interested in joining me for a reading of that, I might do it on Zoom before church. I'll let you know. Okay. Donald J. Trump. What should I ask? It's so much. Yeah, that Amanda Gorman, man, it's fascism is soul crushing. Fascism is, it gets you on a real personal level. Like, fascism will come in and, like, strip you of your right to worship, the divine, the way that you want to worship. I mean, fascism hits you really in a very personal, very evil way. And I want to say that I've been writing to MSNBC and asking them, forcefully asking them to please start calling it what it is. And on Morning Joe, I heard Joe Scarborough several times say the word fascism over and over and over again. So, maybe it does work to write. Maybe it does work. Alexa Brain. So that Amanda Gorman, that beautiful, beautiful poem that, like I was saying Wednesday, like a healing balm to all of our souls. It gave us so much hope. And they banned it. The white supremacist woman who complained about it banned it. We can't stand for this. We cannot stand for this. Let's read on Lauren Boebert first. So Lauren Boebert, I started to say before I had to redo my video. It's been leaked that there was a phone call that was made by her son who was being subjected to physical abuse by his father. Did you all see this? And Lauren Boebert's the one that's always preaching how, Christian, family values, Christian. I hope I don't offend anyone if I say white trash, but she deserves to be called what she is. And Marjorie too. Yeah. That poor kid. And I'm assuming that's the one that got his young girlfriend pregnant, and now they're having to have a child. And Lauren, it was kind of cute the way she was, oh, and I'm going to be a grandmother. Give me a break. What kind of life is that for a girl to have a baby at that age? Anyway. Yeah, if you follow your man and, Jesus is in your marriage, and just give me a break. So let's look at, I've always seen her in huge trouble with the law. The poem was not banned. Yeah, it's the same thing, be grateful. It's the same thing. I just want you to know. I understand your point. But it doesn't even matter. Like, they moved the poem from this shelf to this shelf. There was nothing in that poem that was dangerous. Come on. I'm still talking about the Amanda Gorman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they took it out of the elementary school level, it doesn't matter. To label that as something that shouldn't be paid attention to. I'm switching back and forth on topics, but the point is, it was about our journey in the United States of America, and it was about hope. Amanda Gorman's poem. It was about hope. It was about rebuilding. It was about never giving up. It was about, living through the hard, our imperfections, and, it was about triumphing over the worst obstacles and, the best of us and the worst of us. It was the most beautiful poem, and it was at a time when we were just like so shaky. And she has dark skin. Okay? Sorry, I get a little heated. And I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling at that they would call that like there's something wrong with that. Lauren Boebert. What's the fate of Lauren Boebert? Oh, the card just flipped right over. This card has been, church and government. They've read about the Revolutionary War. Separation of church and state. They wanted no part of the king's religion. They wanted no part of being held captive to the King George's rules. They probably don't even know about the American Revolution. Lauren Boebert, this card has come to mean all the evidence against someone. The cup overfloweth of evidence of their criminality. And that goes for Lauren Boebert, and it's going to catch up with her. It's just going to be a few little turns of the wand. And this is Jack Smith. This is the DOJ. There's no way that Lauren Boebert is going to get away with her criminality. There is no way. What are you saying, you guys? What are you saying about Yogi Bear? I can't keep up. Is Lauren Boebert going to lose her seat? That's yes. Lauren Boebert will lose her seat, and I feel like it's an accumulation of various nefarious things. Yep. I was looking for my phone. I was going to show you a cute picture. Where has my phone gone? Anyway. I was going to show you a cute picture. Hang on. Just a little break. With the energy's getting kind of heavy and not easy just because of all the things we're talking about and how icky the energy is. So, I never do this. I have a grandnephew, and I hadn't met him till today. And there he is. And there he is again. Isn't he cute? I won't tell you his name and all that, but I have a grandnephew. Alright. On to the icky stuff. Donald Trump. Is it buffering? Don't tell me it's buffering. I'll totally freak out and take technology personally. Help. The Donald. The Orange Menace. The Giant Cheeto. He who shall not be named. That's what I used to call him. And then that just got too long. Thank you for telling me it's not buffering. Yes, I have a grandnephew. I have actually 3 grandnephews, and I've got another grand somebody on the way. I'm not sure what boy or girl. I just don't even know where to start with the orange Cheeto face. He's not as orange as he used to be. Yeah, I wanted to share that with you because, sorry it's buffering. I can't do anything about it. I wanted to show you that to lighten up the energy, and it was a bright spot in my day because I hadn't met him. He just turned 1. So cute. So cute. We have to... especially if you have children, if you have grandchildren, if you have nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephews, I mean, if that doesn't make you want to make this country a better place and in turn the world a better place and to do whatever you can to make sure they grow up in a beautiful place that's healthy, I mean, gosh, it inspires me. You know what I mean? Look at me stalling going into Trump's energy. I'm like, okay. Let's see. What should I ask about Donald Trump? Help me out. What should I ask? There's so many questions I can ask about the Orange Menace. Oh, Terry's here. Hi, Terry. I almost needed you earlier to talk me off the ledge. I'm waiting for a specific question about Trump. Going once. Going twice. The children are our hope. Well, our children, relatives, nieces, nephews, children, I'm hoping that they motivate us. Is Jack close to indicting? I kind of feel yes. Okay. Is Jack Smith close to indicting Trump? Yes, that's a pretty instant yes. Does he have a portrait in his attic? What? What was that about? Jack's getting close to indicting Trump. I think I read on this the other night and I got next week. And within 2 weeks. Is that still testing out within 2 weeks? I'm getting within 2 weeks. No, Garland will not have the meeting with Trump's lawyers. I read on that on Wednesday. I mean, how many times has Merrick Garland said, we can't comment on the ongoing investigation? Right? Is Trump aware that his life is not a TV show? I don't think so. Do you feel like your life is a TV show? Sometimes I feel like my life is a TV show. Truly. Did Trump hook up with Elon and Melania because their parents were connected to the KGB? Let's ask about, you mean Ivana, right? Ivana and Melania, okay. Did Trump hook up with Ivana and Melania because of their connections to the KGB? Was that a part of it? Yep, that was a good question. Yeah, I get a yes on that. I get a yes on that. How is his health? Okay, we'll ask that too. Is Trump going to have health problems within the next month? That's a yes too. Does Trump currently have health problems? Is he currently feeling uncomfortable from health problems? Strong yes on that. Strong yes. You get a no life in September. I don't predict death. Well, I don't predict. I predict that people will die. That's like Sadhguru has a book and it's called Death, and it says, the subtitle is, For Those Who Will Die. I don't know when Trump is going to die. I don't want to know. It's none of my business. Okay, let's pull 3 cards on Trump and Jack Smith. The war criminal prosecutor. He's prosecuted some really big crimes. Okay, this is a surrender card. Trump will have to surrender. And we will be dancing, and we will be happy. And Jack Smith's going to keep it undercover as much as he can, for as long as he can. And Merrick Garland, keep it undercover for as long as he can, as much as he can. I said when Jack Smith first got appointed special counsel, when he first took on the job that Merrick Garland asked him to take, and flew him back to the United States to take that position, that I said, I saw all the connecting threads that Jack Smith was going to look for, all the connecting, and I'm going like this because it's overseas, all the overseas connections. Jack's on it. That's his experience. That's what, I mean, he's done a lot of that. Thank God for people that have mastery. You know what I mean? I asked about Trump's health. It's bad. I don't know what more to tell you about that. He's mentally very foggy. He's very foggy, like, you know that feeling? I hate that feeling. I was an insomniac for like 25 years. Glad I healed from that. That was hell. But anyway, the things we go through. You know that feeling that you get when you haven't slept? There might be a delay, Angela, because I just asked her. I just answered both of those questions. Like, exactly. He's not feeling well at all. And his health is bad. And he has foggy brain. He doesn't sleep. World criminal prosecutor, yeah. And I did see, a long time ago, a few years ago, I saw Trump at the end in a wheelchair in a hospital, in a facility. That's what I saw at the end. No, he's not going to flee the country. We've been over this already. We've been over this already. He's not going to flee the country. I don't even know how people figure he could sneak. Like, how is that possible? How could he sneak? Oh, thank you, moderators, and thank you, donators, too. And thank you, thumbs uppers. So, let's just take a look. We'll pick 3 cards about this next few weeks coming for Trump. That was more about Jack Smith and Trump. Judgment is coming, and it's going to come fast for Trump. And here, the balancing act is to get the... It's interesting. I'm hopeful with this card. Okay? Did you catch that? I'm asking about Trump. Judgment is coming, and it's quickly. When it comes, it's going to be swift. Well, that's how it's been, too. When Alvin Bragg indicted Trump, it was quick. It was like all of a sudden, remember that? Do we remember that? I was just closing up a PNN, and we had gotten word that Trump was going to be indicted on a Tuesday, and then it didn't happen, and then we thought, we're going to have to wait months and months and months. Right before I ended the PNN, I picked a card, and I went, I think something's going to happen really quickly. And that's when he got indicted, and it was the following week. Following me? It's going to happen, and it will happen. When it happens, it's going to be swift. And then this is the balancing act. What there are actually people that are in discussions about how to keep the MAGA crowd, the extremists, calm. They're going to try to be as sneaky as they can. But yeah. Okay. We covered a lot on Wednesday. We also were covering about the Live Golf tournaments. I'm not sure all those tournaments are going to happen. And I definitely get that he's done deals with the Saudis. I definitely get that strongly. Oh, okay. Yeah, Glenn, I get what you're saying. I don't even think it takes a psychic. I mean, some psychics see his health deteriorating, even passing over after all the trials start. Remember, he had COVID. He had the bad COVID. He had, like, the Delta, right? Remember how sick he was? And I was reading on him when he got, remember it was the beginning of October 2020. He got COVID. He was out there rallying, and that Ben, was it Ben, oh, who was the guy that had the pizza business who died? He got COVID. He was helping Trump, right? I want to say Ben, but I don't think it was Ben. You know who I mean? I think his name started with an H, actually. Okay. Let's look at the Supreme Court. I don't think the MAGAs are as powerful anymore also. I agree with that. We need to read on the Supreme Court. Speaking of things that are making me very angry. On stage with Biden when he had COVID. Yeah, it was bad. Oh, thanks, Soul Surfer. That's so sweet. I'm speechless about the Supreme Court. I'm absolutely speechless about the Supreme Court. I mean, I actually was like, we're facing like a death cult. It's like a death cult. No, it wasn't Ben Carson. It was a guy that had the pizza place that died of COVID. He was helping. You don't remember? Herman King. Yeah, it says his name started with an H. Poor guy. I mean, he was just like, he just liked Trump and he wanted to help. He was kind of blind to what was really going on. And then he died from getting COVID, helping at a Trump rally, Herman Cain. And Trump never even said anything about it. And not to mention that when Trump's brother died, I don't think it was from COVID, but Trump's brother died, he didn't even mention it. People were like, oh, so sorry and he was just like, yeah, whatever. Where do these people come from? Anyway, we're under the influence of a death cult. Supreme Court limits EPA's power to address water pollution. Supreme Court limits the Environmental Protection Agency's power to address water pollution. Can I read that to you again? The Supreme Court limits the Environmental Protection Agency's power to address water pollution. What is global climate change? What's one of the worst impacts of global climate change? Water. Drought. But let's not protect. I don't know why this isn't headline news, breaking news. The Supreme Court has made it all right for developers and drillers and whatever the hell they're going to do to just go ahead and do it. When I showed you that picture of my 1-year-old grandnephew, that's what I think about. They also said it's okay to have fossil fuel emissions in the air. We need to not regulate that. Not regulate, let's gut the Clean Water Act. Let's not protect our environment for future generations. Let's all just fry. Why are you talking about Xanax? Supreme Court limits their power to address the EPA's power to address water pollution. It wasn't going great anyway. It's hard to get protections in place because of all the big corporations, all the greed, all the big money. It's hard to get protections in place. Believe me, I have done my darndest, and I would never stop. Please donate to organizations that are going to fight this. They want our planet to be unlivable. Why are you guys talking about Xanax? Save soil. Yeah, thank you, Cheryl. We have soil. We have topsoil. We're losing our topsoil. The world's topsoil is getting depleted. And to Sadhguru's credit, SaveSoil.org has reached 4 billion people. Unbelievable. I'm so mad about that. I'm so mad about the Supreme Court. In a nutshell, I noticed someone's asking about Putin, because I do want to read more on the Supreme Court. I feel the Russian army defecting, enough of them defecting, some kind of revolution, and Putin will be ousted. Can't give you a time frame on that. The Supreme Court might as well not even exist. Honestly, it's really to that point. I mean, what I was thinking was, don't they drink water? Do they drink water? We need water to survive, to live. We need water for crops. We need clean water. The Supreme Court, if they didn't exist, we'd be better off. Think about it. I don't even know. I know it's inhumane. I just don't even know if there are words. Tarot card's coming up about the Supreme Court. We're going to be happy about some development about the Supreme Court. I mean, come on, Harlan Crow funds Clarence Thomas. I don't know why Clarence Thomas needs all that money and all those gifts. Have you seen a luxury yacht? I don't call it blackmail. It's not blackmail. It's not blackmail. It's overt. But something, do you guys agree with me? We might as well not have a Supreme Court. The Supreme Court's just being blown up, metaphorically speaking. We'll be happy with some development there, and they're making it hard on everybody. They're making it hard on everybody. I encourage everyone to sit down and write for perspective how many horrible things the Supreme Court has done, how many horrible things the MAGA Republicans have done, and get some perspective. We all need to rise up. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. What we do at grassrootsofdemocracy.com is we talk about current things that are happening that need to be addressed, and we sit down and we do the research, and we do it. We do what needs to be done. All right. So upset about the Supreme Court. I'm just so livid. Ukrainians are masterfully faking a big strike while doing probing missions while taking out Russian command. Oh, yeah. I do feel the Russians turning on Putin. The fascists tried to sneak in dark money. Okay. There's an overwhelming amount of news. Maybe we should read on Joe Biden. You guys want to read on our president? Yeah, something different. How's Joe Biden doing? Use your power. Use your power. Everyone should be working. Every single person here and all your friends and family should be working to protect our democracy, our voting rights. Seriously. Biden definitely needs some attention. I think he's doing great. Biden is so strategic. I think he's doing awesome. Nobody could withstand the pressure that he's needing to withstand. Okay. Fast-moving energy for Joe Biden. A new message for Joe Biden. It looks good. This is he's a good negotiator. Biden's figuring it out. I did say it would be a busy May with news. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. I don't remember what I said when I'm doing readings. On purpose. I don't want my head to be that full. Okay, so it looks like Biden. I told you the other day I felt like that they had already figured it out. Biden figured it out. I'm not reading on the 2024 election. I'm just not. It's too soon. Yes, love and white light, okay? All that anger energy that comes up, transmute it into white light and protection and holding up the Democrats that are just humanitarians, that care about us, that care about one another. And let's not forget, these fascists are doing all the damage on your dime. They're doing all the damage on your dime. I mean, they want to take food away from hungry children. They want to take food away from hungry elders. They want to take medical care away from the elders. They want to take medical care away from veterans. They want to take our hard-earned Social Security and Medicare money that we paid into. They want to steal it. And they want all the rich people, mega rich people, to not be taxed on their luxury yachts. They want the mega rich people, the MAGA rich people, they want them to not pay taxes. They want them to be able to write off their private jets. That's what they want. And they want children to go hungry. And I don't know if anybody here has had to go hungry, but it's not pleasant. And it's a very scary feeling. And not one of them has ever gone hungry. Look at Ted Cruz. Think about it. Zero compassion. I'm going to read on the abortion bans, and I'm going to read on voting rights. Yeah, and they're just giving their money, they're taking dark money, they're ruining the planet, they're making our planet unlivable. Abortion bans first, I'm going to read on that. Are we going to see any changes? Vote the bums out. Vote the bums out. Out. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up. About the abortion bans, we're going to have loss. We're going to have women losing their lives. Anything for power, even death. It's a death cult. They'd rather have the billionaires be able to write off their luxury yachts and their private jets and their mansions, probably, right? Because they don't have to pay taxes. And we suffer. How is that different from an evil monarchy? Sound familiar? How does that differ from an evil monarchy treating all its people like slaves and serfs? It's not much different. No, we're the wealthiest country. Anyway, the abortion bans. Women will die, and they are dying, and they're being tortured. There's a lot of lawsuits that they're coming in quickly. You know, fast and furious lawsuits against these states. Remember back a while ago? I guess it was last year. Yeah. The DOJ sued the state of Texas for the abortion bans. Anyway, this is tough. This abortion ban, this is tough. I feel like it's the men who get involved that's going to make it's going to I mean, it's the women that are definitely going to be involved, and it's going to be a big push to get rid of these abortion bans. But the guys just keep saying, vote the bums out. Vote them out. Yeah, no free baby care, and no food. They don't want to feed the hungry children. They just want these women that don't have the means to have a baby to suffer. We'll lighten it up at the end. Oh, and I haven't read the tea leaves yet, have I? And what? I've totally lost track of time. Voting rights. Stacey Abrams was on MSNBC. I saw that for a brief moment. She's doing good. Voting rights. Are we going to get voting rights back? Think about all the things you would lose under fascism. All this, for instance. Voting rights. Not enough people are standing up for our voting rights. Not enough people are standing up for our voting rights currently. Not enough people are standing up for our voting rights currently. I had to say it 3 times. Grassrootsofdemocracy.com. 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 They're doing it on the sly, on the sneak. As we know, the fascist Republicans are sneaking, taking away voting rights. They're all doing it. Let's be real. They're all doing it. The Queen of Pentacles, this is a woman that become so infuriated. It's the female energy that makes a change with voting rights. The guides are saying, like the suffragette movement, like that. Similar to that. I know that was a slightly different topic, but I think it would help us to go read about the history of the suffragette movement and all that, and it's similar to how we're going to change things around voting rights. Thank you, guys. Let's take a look at the teacup. I see a bird in the Mercury segment, the Mercury section. Where is my little one? There's a bird. There's some information coming in. There's some news coming in. I think this is about the debt ceiling. And there's a bird. It's kind of like a phoenix rising here that I see. Mind you, I don't expect you guys to be able to see it, but I see it. I mean, you can read if you want. The Mars. I see a piece, a dove in the Mars section. That's indicating that we're heading for a more peaceful Ukraine. That is happening. I'm getting the number 3, like 3 months. Venus, little by little, we're going to see people in the United States starting to help the less fortunate. I mean, and this feels like, I do have a sense that Joe Biden will make one concession. And I think it's going to create a little bit of hardship, but he's doing it. It feels like it might be around the disabled and the work, which is, it's a horrible thing. That the disabled that receive benefits will have to work. Well, some do. But I see the American people, this is Venus, and I see the American people starting to show up for those that are less fortunate. For instance, if you find out that Meals on Wheels gets canceled, I mean, you're a nice human, right? You're a nice human. If you found out Meals on Wheels got canceled, right, and it's a great, great, great thing, or food stamps, could you live with yourself if you didn't help out with, offering up some cans of beans or tuna or, So there's going to be a bit of hardship, and it's because of this debt ceiling debacle, even though I see it being raised. But we're also going to see that people are going to help each other. Remember what happened when COVID started? The good part. I know we remember all the bad part, but people stepped up and helped one another. So let's keep our minds on that. This next full moon is going to be a doozy. No? No, you wouldn't help? What are you saying no to? We totally, everybody here in this chat, everybody who's here tonight, if the fascist, cruel, inhuman beings that are in positions of leadership, if they cut, say, food stamps, we would help. I see us needing to help somewhat. And there's a whole lot of indictments coming. There's a whole bunch of them. There's a lot of indictments coming. Get ready. I risk getting people mad because everyone's so impatient. That's why I told you tonight, it could be worse. We could be under a fascist dictatorship right now. Okay? We would help. We would all help. And I do see this full moon coming up, justice galore. And I'm having a show with Kathy Beal, the professional Aquarian astrologer. I don't think she's here tonight. And that's going to be on June 6th, and it's going to be about the full moon, I think. Yeah, June 6th. That just doesn't sound like the right number. Yeah, Tuesday the 6th. Oh, did you just show up? Better late than never, yeah. I'd stay on longer, but I started to lose my voice after a while. I started very late because I had problems with the chat. So it's going to push us, the stress that we're under is going to push, just because of the fascist Republicans, is going to push us to dig deep and to see what we can do for others. And we need to live that way. We have tons of challenges facing us. But that full moon, that's going to be a doozy for justice. And Trump's birthday is June 14th. We'll be asking Kathy about that too. I think that's everything, except I do want to give you a few cards for the weekend. And I'm going to tell you, since I've monetized my channel, if I find that I'm getting, donations that make me feel inspired to do more, I'll do more. You know how when you get paid for something, it makes you feel like you want to show up even more. And if you guys are booking readings and stuff like that, it inspires me to do more. Because I kind of thought, there were a lot of people here on Saturday because I had problems on Friday. I couldn't do the vid. But on Saturday, we had a lot of people. So I might add a Saturday night thing too. Just depends on if it's worth it. It's not easy working for free. Justice. The next few days, we're going to see justice. We're going to see good things happening. Thank you, Julie. Mark Meadows is talking to Jack, and yeah, Mark Meadows is shaking in his boots because he knows he's in big trouble and he doesn't want to go to jail. So I always thought that Mark Meadows would sing. And I also think Weisselberg will. I think Weisselberg is going to be, because he doesn't want to go back to Rikers. The Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, Justice, and the United States. We have some good things coming up. We have good things coming up. Jumpin' Jack Fletch. Oh, is that your nickname for Jack Smith? You know what's so funny? He's all over. Everyone's talking about Jack Smith, Jack Smith, Jack Smith. We have never heard a word out of the guy. It's a guess. Got it. I love you guys. Please join me for Church of Spirituality on Sunday. Please. I'm only begging you because it's such a good thing. It's so uplifting. And a really, really good message. And Memorial Day, we will be commemorating Memorial Day on Sunday. And we've been on the theme of the Divine Feminine and nurturing. And tomorrow is the class. Oh, thank you for the donation. Tomorrow is the class called It's All in Your Mind, about how to get smarter as you get older, not less sharp. Okay? It's always a blast. I'm glad I jumped back on and everything worked. The angels are with us always. Keep being awesome. Love you. Namaste. Be nice to yourself and everyone else.